Okay, hi, good morning everyone. Today's tutorial will be on the mensuration, and then right now we'll be talking about one particular, you can say, a figure. The figure that we'll be concentrating on today's tutorial will be a cylinder, and we'll be talking about how to solve questions when area of the cylinder is mentioned, or when they ask you to find the certain areas, or if area is given, then how do we solve questions related to those. So right now there are two types of areas that we have for a cylinder. Right now we're talking about a solid cylinder, we're not talking about a hollow we'll be talking about in the later, maybe in the next tutorial, but right now we're talking about a solid cylinder. So there are two surface, means there are two types of areas that we have for a cylinder. So one is called your curved surface area, also known as your lateral surface area. Curved surface area or lateral surface area means the same thing. And in short form, we write curved surface area CSA, and lateral surface area we write it as LSA. And the formula is 2 pi RH. That's the formula for your curved surface area or the lateral surface area of a cylinder. Now what do I mean by curved surface area? Like, let's say for example a cylinder looks something like this. Okay, this is the cylinder, let's say it's a solid cylinder. So curved surface area means it's only the curved portion. Okay, that means we're only talking about this particular, so we are not including this and this will not be a part. That means this, imagine that there is nothing at the top, so it's just like a glass. So let's say this is a glass, and then at the top it's like there's nothing, so nothing is covered. So that means there is nothing at the top, means we are only focusing on the round part of this glass. So that will be called your curved surfaces. That means it's only the rounds. Like if this is the pen, we are not taking the upper half and the lower half into consideration. It's just the one that has been winded like this, the curved one, that is called a curved surface area, and that's the formula. Now along with this curve one, if I include the upper half and the lower half also, now if I put something at the, like a lid at the top and at the bottom also, if I put something, then what will happen? And that kind of an area will be called your total surface area. So if I have nothing at the top, nothing at the bottom, means it's just like you can say, what exactly can you say? It's like, let's say there is opening on both sides. Let's say if I just cover this, okay, so right now this at the top also there is nothing, at the bottom also there is nothing, means then this one at the that has been winded over here, that is called a curved surface area. Whereas now on the top half also, on the bottom half also, now if I put something, okay, like a covering or something, then that will be called your total surface area. Okay, and the formula for your total surface area is this one. So what are we doing is this. Now this portion is, everyone knows, like in the previous tutorials we talked about, this one is circular, and the size of this bottom one and the upper one is exactly the same, and this usually we call it as the base. And everyone knows that it is circular in shape, and then if it's a circle, then the area of a circle is pi r square. That means area of the base is pi r square. So this portion, the round portion that we will be attaching at the bottom, the area will be pi r square. And I said this lower portion and the upper one is exactly the same, so this one will also have the same area as pi r square. So right now this was already there. To this we are now adding this and this. So what does it become? Now that becomes total surface area. So then we already have the curved part. Now to that curved part, now we are adding the upper half, that is pi r squared, and we are also adding the lower half, that is pi r squared. So then it becomes the total figure's area, and that is called the total surface area, and that is called 2 pi rh plus, if I add them, 2 pi r squared, and it becomes 2 pi r is common, then we get h plus r. So that is the formula. So this is just to explain you, I've written everything, but if you want, you can just remember this formula and you can apply it in the sums. So total surface area, the formula is equals to 2 pi r h plus r, and the curved surface area is equal to 2 pi RH. So curve means only the curved portion. So this half, nothing is there. There is a hole, you can say. This half also, there's nothing, there's a hole. So this entire thing is called a curved surface area. But to this, if I add something at the bottom, if I just put something, a lid or a covering, this side also I put a lid or a covering, then that becomes the total surface area. So to the curved surface area, if I add the upper half and the lower half, that becomes my total surface area. Now let us try a few questions on your lateral surface area and your curved surface area. So let's say for example this one, it says if the lateral surface area of a cylinder is 616. So let's write what is given. It says lateral surface area or indirectly curved surface area is equal to 616. That is given to us, and it says the height is 14, so height is equal to 14 centimeter. It says find the radius. Now how do I find the radius? So we will have to take the help of what has been given to us. So it is already given to us in the question that LSA, that is curved surface area, is 616 centimeter square. So now what are we supposed to do is, whatever is given, you will have to go ahead and check and then see what the formula of this particular thing is. So if they give you curved surface area or lateral surface area, I'll have to write the formula of that. If they give you total surface area, you have to write the formula of that. So LSA has been given, and LSA, just now we said that the formula for it is 2 pi RH. So I write the formula of this as 2 pi RH, that is equals to 616, and then pi, everyone knows, is 22 by 7. I don't know what r is, that is what we have to find, but the height is already given to us as 14, that is equal to 616. 7 ones are 7, 2 is a 14. So then what happens, we get 2 into 22 into r into 2 is equals to 616. Then r is equal to 616 divided by 2 into 22 into 2. So then after you cancel, you will get r to be as equals to let's say, after cancellation, 2 3s are 6, 2s are 2, 8s are 16, 2 5s are 5s are 2, 4s are, and then 22 ones are 27. So r is equal to 7 centimeter. So we got the answer of the radius is 7 centimeter. That is how we go ahead and find the radius with the help of your LSA or your CSA. So now the second question says volume. Now if I want to go ahead and find the volume, okay, so volume of a cone, of a cylinder, you should know the formula, and that's in the previous tutorial, but in case you've forgotten, the formula is pi r squared h, and pi is again 22 by 7. A radius, just now we found it as 7, so r squared means 7 into 7, and h means it is 14. 7 gets cancelled, so we are left with 22 into 7 into 14. 22 into 7 gives me a 154 into 14, and 154 into 14 gives me a 2156 centimeter cube. So that was how we go ahead and solve this kind of stuff. It's very, very simple. So you always start by writing the things that have been given to us in the question. After you go ahead and jot down what has been given, then check what has been given to you, okay, apart from the height, apart from the radius. Like they may give you CSA, they may give you total surface area, or they may give you area of the base, like this is called the base I told you, and this is the area, okay. And if you want the circumference of the base, I had already mentioned in the previous, circumference, or sometimes they also call it perimeter of the base, is equals to 2 pi r. So sometimes they may give you area of the base, then I'll write pi r squared. Sometimes they may give you circumference or perimeter of the base, I'll write 2 pi r. So it depends on what has been given. They may give you this, they may give you this, or they may give you this and this. So whatever has been given, use the formula and then find maybe the radius, maybe the height with the help of that, okay? And then you can solve the sums accordingly. So that's the first step. So now let's move on to the next question. It says, now the total surface area of a cylinder, okay, so they're saying total surface area of a cylinder is 6512 centimeter square. So that is the information that has been given. Apart from this, they're saying, and the circumference of the base. So they are also saying circumference of the base is equals to 88 centimeter. It says find the volume. Okay, so these are the two things that are given. So now I'll have to use both of this. And then, because see, if I want to find the volume, so everyone knows, if I want to find the volume's formula is pi r squared h. So I need my r and I need my h. Only then I'll be able to put the values of r and h in this formula and get my volume. So how do I get my r and h? Because nothing has been given. So I'll use this and this information to get both my r and h. So let's take one at a time. So let's first start with the circumference of the base. Just now I told you circumference of the base is equals to 2 pi r. So then we write, this is 2 pi r is equal to 88 centimeter. So then 2 into 22 by 7 into r is equal to 88. So then I get r is equals to, the 7 will go up, 88 into 7, and the 2 and the 22 comes down. 7 goes up, these two gets multiply and it comes down. So then when I go ahead and cancel them, what do I get? 244s are 22 ones are 22s are, r is equal to 14. So at least now I got my r. So from the circumference I got my r, but I need my h also. So now how do I get my h? So we'll try and take the help of TSA. So it says TSA is equal to 6512. But what is the formula of TSA? Just now we have written over here TSA. We don't have to write all the steps. We can just write TSA directly as 2 pi r h plus r. So we can just keep it aside. 2 pi r h plus r is equal to 6512. So then 2 into 22 by 7 into r, just now we got it as 14, we substitute 14 and we get h plus 14 is equal to 6512. 7 ones are 7 twos are. So I'm left with 2 into 22 into 2 into h plus 14 is equal to 6512. So we get 88 bracket h plus 14 is equal to 6512. So we can open the bracket also, but I think that will become more complicated. So let's take the 88 down. So we get 6512 divided by 88. So now when I go ahead and cancel this, I think you'll be getting a 74. Okay, so when you cancel 74 into 82 gives me 6512, then I get it as 74. H is equal to 74 minus 14, h is equals to 60. So I got the value of h also. So from circumference, I got my radius, and from the TSA, I got my height. Now, once I have my r and my h, the question says find volume. So volume is equals to pi r squared h, that is 22 by 7. Radius, we just now got it as 14 into 14 into h, we got 60. 7 ones are 7 twos are. So 22 into 2 gives me a 44 into 14 into 6 4 is a 24, 840. And when I multiply this, we get 36960 centimeter cube as our answer. So that is how, again, now we use the information that has been given to get our radius and our height. Once we get our radius and our height, then it's very, very easy to go ahead and get our the volume of whatever is asked. And sometimes this question may have a direct find the volume, or sometimes they may say number 1 find radius, number 2 find height, and number 3 find volume. Okay, but even if they don't ask you to find the radius and the height, I still have to first get my radius and the height this way and then use it to get my volume. Okay, so let's try another. Let's try a ratio sum now. Okay, let's move on to another one. So let's say if it says this one, so they are saying that the radius of two cylinders. Now whenever they have something related to a ratio and all, okay, whenever the question says something related to ratio, it's always advisable you make columns. Okay, that would be the best. It's not compulsory, but that's the best way. So I write the first cylinder and I write the second cylinder, and any information related to my first cylinder I write on the left, on the second cylinder I write on the right. So it says radius of two cylinders are in the ratio. So once it's in the ratio, so the first cylinder's radius, so since they are in a ratio, we can write them in terms of x or any other variable. So I say let the first cylinder's ratio or radius, be 3x, and the radius of the second cylinder be 4x. So we are writing this in terms of ratio. We can't write 3 and 4, we have to write something. So we're writing 3x and 4x. And the heights are in the ratio. The heights also there, but since I've already taken x to denote my radius, I cannot take the same x. I'll have to write something else. So for the height of the first cylinder, let it be 6y, and the height, or I can write 6h, whatever you want. Radius, you can write 3r. I have chosen x and y. You can choose r and h also. Height of the second cylinder, again the ratio means 5, so I'll write 5y. So heights I'm taking in terms of y, radius I'm taking in terms of x, because they are two different terms. So that's the reason why I'll have to go ahead and make sure that I take different variables for it. So now it says ratio of the curved surface area. So individually first find the curved surface area of the first cylinder. So the formula is 2 pi rh. The general formula is 2 pi rh. But over here, what is 2 pi? Let it be pi only, because the pi and pi ratio, don't write pi as 22 by 7 because they will get cancelled out for sure. Now what is the radius of the first cylinder? This is the general formula, but what's the radius? Radius is 3x. What's the height? It's 6y. That's the thing. Don't multiply, don't do anything, because the cancellation will take place. That's the CSA of the first. CSA of the second. The formula for all the cylinders is still 2 pi rh, but now over here the radius is different. So I'll have to put 4x. What's the height? I'll have to put 5y. Now that's the CSA of the second, that's the CSA of the first. So now it says ratio of the curved surface. So when I want to find the ratio, I'll have to CSA of the first divided by CSA of the second, that is equals to, what is the CSA of the first? 2 pi 3x 6y divided by 2 pi 4x 5y. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled, pi and pi gets cancelled, x and x gets cancelled, y and y gets cancelled, and I think further gets cancelled, like 2 2s are 2 3s are. So what am I left with? I'm left with 3 and 3, that will give me a 9, 2 and 5, that gives me a 10. So therefore ratio of their CSAs, okay, is equals to 9 is to 10. So that's the ratio. So ratio sums are very easy. So I would not waste my time in going ahead and substituting the value of pi as 22 by 7, or I would not keep on multiplying 2 into 3 is the 6, 6 to 36. Okay, that's a time waste, because I know for sure when I take it down, a lot of things will get cancelled between the first and the second. So that's how we try and make our sum as simple as possible. So that is the first, I think, in first half, let's say you can say, where we just go ahead and use the CSAs, the TSAs, or the area of the base or the circumference of the base, and we use those information to go ahead and solve questions on this one. So this is the first figure that we are dealing with. In the next tutorial, I'll be talking about the cones, and then I'll be talking about spheres, and then we'll be talking about questions where all these figures will be joined together, they'll be merged together. Like sometimes you may have a cone, okay, merged with the cylinder, or you may also have a hemisphere also. So how do I find the area of this entire figure? That will come later on. So first we are only dealing with individual figures. So right now we have done with your what do you call your cylinder. Then the next tutorial we'll move on to your cones, then your spheres, and then we will be dealing with this kind of questions. Okay, so that's it for the time being. In case you have any further questions, please do let me know. Okay, so that's it. Thank you.